welcome to my little secret hideaway. This is where I come when I just want to be myself and switch off and forget about everything. I'm excited that you guys are here. What I'm doing here at Sound and Surf Samui is something unique on the island. To me, Samui is wonderful, and we chose this island to live here. It's beautiful. It's got a lot of coconut trees, a lot of bars and discos, but not much else, right? So, and I'm a concert-going person. I like good music. I like high-end, good quality music, and it's difficult to find in Samui. Agree? So I decided to start a movement. Sound and Surf Samui is about building a team, a group of people, a community who love this, who like to enjoy good quality music that comes from the heart. It's jazz and classical. At this stage, in this setup, it's alternating. Last time it was jazz, tonight it's classical. But it's okay. I chose a pretty easy, user-friendly piece, so you will probably get through it without major damage. Jana sits in front because she understands what I'm doing, building a group. She invited the most number of people here tonight, so she deserves to be sitting in the one and only top seat where I sit normally when I come here on my own, because this is the perfect position to listen to both left and right channel from this thing. What I'm doing here is a non-commercial thing. I'm not making money from this. I'm doing this because I love doing it. And I want to share the experience and the joy of music with other people. But I don't want to run a deficit, so let's get the bad news out of the way. I do accept contribution towards the cost of food and drinks tonight, if you don't mind. I provide the view, the pool, the equipment, the sound, the great music, but if you would like, and I think you would, Jana, please help me when we finish. Collect as much as you think it's worth to you, at a minimum of 200 baht. Is that okay? And that is probably, that will bring me a little bit closer to that. So thank you very much.
You will give me some hats? Right?
Yeah. There's a big white hat. Don't put it on your hat because it's tough and hard, but yes. Also, I would like you to put your names down here only if you want to be kept up to date on what's going on, because then I send you invitations, information about the next session.
Like to have, like
just name and an email address. I'm not going to sell you anything.
Not Facebook, I mean, because it's very
that comes at the end.
Yeah,
you can like it and you can join the group. But if I want to send you guys an email about something, I would like to have your name. I'm not going to use your email address for anything. I'm not selling anything. I'm not going to. I could use it.
You can sell. Nobody wants one.
I don't think this qualifies under the new European data protection regulations. Blah blah blah. But we are in Samui. It's a coconut island. No one cares. So thank you very much. This helps me to keep in touch with you. Now, it's important that you relax. Leave the problems, the concerns, the worries outside. You can close your eyes if you want during this 30-35 minutes. Don't prejudge, don't sort of have any expectations either. Just open your mind, open your heart, let the sound come to you, and if you want, you can observe your feelings and your emotions. We are playing classical music tonight. Tonight's program is something that I think quite exciting. It gives me a chance to talk about the composer as well as the piece itself, only for a few minutes, don't worry. Hang on, this doesn't seem to work, just a minute. Yeah, I'm going to play. Yeah, I switched this off, that's why. When I switch it off, it doesn't work, yeah. I'm going to play pictures in an exhibition, Russian music. This is an easy piece. So easy that when I was 12 or 13, we analyzed this piece and we dissected it in our history and theory of music classes, which I attended for many, many years. The composer, has anyone heard of Mussorgsky? The name familiar, of course, other than the Russians? Yeah, okay. Anyway, it's a very interesting piece of music written by this guy, Modest Mussorgsky. He was living in throughout the middle of the 19th century. He was a member of the so-called Russian Five. The Russian Five, together with Cesar Curie, Rimsky-Korsakov, Balakirev and Borodin, they decided to write Russian music and create a Russian musical culture, and they relied heavily on Russian folklore and Russian history. He himself was born to an influential, rich family. His father was a landowner, and his mother was a pianist, a piano teacher, an English lady. But his ancestral lineage on the father's side apparently goes back to the 9th century, to the legendary founder of Russia. You know probably a lot more about that than I do. He was very talented. At the age of 10, he already played piano to his fellow students, and at the age of 12, he wrote his first compositions. His family, according to the traditions of the time, sent him to a military school, where he, at the age of 13, where he met other musicians, composers, and alcohol. His commander, one of the heads of the school, apparently was very happy when he could see his students coming back from leave drunk of champagne. So I guess alcoholism in those days, for these people anyway, in St. Petersburg, was a noble form of opposition to the established Tsarist regime. You can probably understand what it means. And as you can see, alcohol did leave a major and lasting impression, and effect on his face. This is one of the very few pictures that we have left of him. He did have a very turbulent and troubled life. Many of his compositions were never finished. And we can safely say alcohol dominated his whole life. He spent quite a few years in a down and out, really bad St. Petersburg drinking hole. Interestingly, he had various homosexual relationships and attachments with different people, including a guy called Victor Hartmann, who was a painter, an architect, and also a Polish Jew. Now, it's very interesting because his father, the old Mussorgsky, hated the Poles and was a fierce anti-Semite. So he hated the Jews and hated the Poles, yet his son had some kind of an affair or an affection with this guy, Victor Hartmann. Why I'm saying this is because Victor Hartmann, apparently quite handsome, I can't say, history books talk about him being quite handsome, but anyway, he was the painter of these pictures that Mussorgsky wrote the music about. So when Victor Hartmann died, there was a posthumous exhibition in St. Petersburg of his paintings, and Mussorgsky went to visit the exhibition, and he was walking from painting to painting, and that's how he came up with the idea of putting his impressions and images into music. So that's how pictures that an exhibition was created. Again, his life was filled with dramas, self-destruction, fits of madness, and he drank himself to death. He died in a St. Petersburg hospital at the age of 42. Well, that's his life story, and that's the very brief story of Pictures an Exhibition. It's an easy piece, although it's a classical piece of music, you don't have to be afraid. Where I come from, they usually play this music to children to get them excited about classical music and make them go to the next concert. So it's a nice, easy piece. The last thing I want to mention on a perhaps little personal note is that maybe you want to watch and understand and realize how expressive classical music can be, how accurately it describes different characters, different emotions, different situations, different scenes. For example, you will hear little unhatched baby chicken dancing inside the eggshell, or you will hear children playing in a park, or you will hear the loneliness and darkness of a gloomy and really, really depressing Roman catacomb filled with human skulls. So after all this little talk, let's play the music. I hope you don't mind if I spoke a few words about this. Just see how to start. Promenade is the walking music. That's when he walks from picture to picture. You will hear it 4 times in the original piano version, and it's fascinating to listen to the piano version as well as the orchestra, full symphony orchestra version. Same music, but totally different sound. You will hear it 4 times in this piece, and each time it's different mood, different character, different atmosphere. So let's start the music.